Welcome to the Fear and Greed Daily Interview. I'm Sean Aylmer. At first glance, blockchain and horse racing don't seem to have a lot in common, but an Australian startup is now using blockchain technology to offer micro shares in racehorses. It's a fascinating idea, to say the least, and one that secured some powerful backers. Remember, this is general information only. It's certainly not investment advice. You should seek professional advice before making any investment decisions. Steve Peake is the founder and CEO of BTX Racing. Steve, welcome to Fear and Greed.
Thanks for having me here, guys.
Now, I've never thought I'd put blockchain and horse racing together. Neither do I understand particularly well, but both I try and follow quite closely. So tell me, how does it work?
Yeah, well, look, we're a technology company. So what we did was we're actually bringing blockchain to the equine industry to bring some new ownership models and business models to the equine industry to solve some of their core problems. So if you've ever looked at owning a racehorse, you'll know that racehorse ownership's pretty expensive. And by using fractionalized ownership of racehorses, we can actually break that down to basically a one-off price of $75 is one of our more affordable horses. So it shows the power of using an efficient technology to do that.
Okay, I'm just going to break that down a bit. So let's say a racehorse at the Easter sales might be $500,000. Let's go for $1 million just because the numbers make it easier. And you are using blockchain technology to offer, so there might be a parcel of 10% of that horse, which I'm making this up, so jump in, Steve. Is that how it works? There's a parcel of 10% that then can be kind of on-sold using blockchain technology?
Correct. And so BTX may acquire that 10% from the auctions, and we may split that 10% into 100, 200, 1,000 ownerships to make that price more affordable. So we've got ownership models at the moment where, we've got a $400,000 horse where we own 15%, and we've got 1,500 units available in that horse.
Why blockchain technology? Where's that come into it?
For us, blockchain is a really good enterprise software. So when you think on the back end of a technology stack, for us, having more efficient and trusted transactions was really important. So the efficient processing for us, because if you've ever done traditional ownership, it's pretty manual and paper-based. Blockchain as an automation software is actually a really powerful tool.
Okay, so if I want to buy one of those 1,500 units in the $400,000 horse, of which you have 15%, that's right, isn't it? I think
that's right.
How do I go about that? What are you trying to appeal to retail investors, or is it? I mean, it's more than friends and family if there's 1,500 units.
That's right. I wish I had that many friends. But we have ownership. So the ownership actually starts from $125. So that includes the value of the horse, but it also includes prepaid training fees as well. So when you actually pay that upfront cost, you actually don't pay any more with BTX ever again, which is a really unique proposition because we don't want to be collecting those monthly training fees every month from our owners. But what we do at the end of the ownership period is pay back any of those unused funds to our owners as well. So it's as simple as basically heading over to our website or our mobile app. We have a marketplace and you can buy your retail investments. You can look at the product disclosure statements. All our horse ownerships are offered under an AFSL, so they're financial investments. So that gives you the regulatory overlay of our products.
And can you pick your horse? I mean, there's obviously a limited number of thoroughbreds available, but presumably you own a few of which the cost of a unit might differ depending on the horse. Is that right? And you can choose? Is that how it works?
That's correct. So at the moment, we've got about 10 ownerships. So we've got ownerships with Ciaron Maher Racing. So he was the winner of the 2022 Melbourne Cup. We've got a couple of horses with Gay Waterhouse. We've also got some short-term ownerships with the O'Day Hoisted Racing as well. So one of our more popular ownerships as of late was a Group 1 racing horse called Shalo that's actually racing this weekend in a Group 1 Tats Tiara, which is really exciting opportunity and one that probably wouldn't have been affordable to most of those people previously because shares in that horse were $88. So really exciting proposition there.
Okay, so let's say I own a share and let's say it does win a Group 1 or a horse that wins a lot of money, even better, wins the Everest, right? So how do I get some sort of share of the prize money? And I hasten to add, I have owned parts of racehorses and never, no matter what they've won, have I ever got a return in terms of prize money, to be honest. But if it does win a lot of money, do I get some sort of return?
Absolutely. So if you're talking about that horse that you bought into the 1,500 shares, your ownership percentage, you'll get the same ownership proportion as your prize money. So if you own 1% of the horse in our ownerships, you'll get 1% of the prize money. So that's the really neat option here with us is it's not just about the experience of ownership, it's the prize money opportunity as well.
Okay, so it's democratizing horse ownership in many ways. What sort of response have you had so far?
It's been really positive. I think it's a unique investment opportunity. There's not many investments on the market at the moment where once you buy into the asset, for us, it's actually you get regular training content, you get stable tours and race day experiences. Obviously, the experience gets better as we start to hit the track more. And as an early stage company, we're starting to do that more frequently, which is building the experience every month for our owners, which is really cool.
Stay with me, Steve. We'll be back in a minute. I'm speaking to Steve Peake, founder and CEO of BTX Racing. Okay, so who's a typical investor?
Look, we've had a range. We've had owners all around Australia, people that have owned in syndicates before who during COVID would actually have said, rather than owning one horse for $5,000, they might own all 10 horses with us to get a varied experience. That's been a really common one. And a lot of the punters who actually like to punt have also said, well, the ownership experience is complementary to that experience as well. So we've seen a variety of people and we're starting to see a lot of people interested in the Web3 and blockchain area actually dabble in how we connecting blockchain to real world assets because it's a really unique proposition.
Yeah, okay. Who's ponying up the money? Pardon the pun. Who is investing in BTX Racing? Where's your money coming from to allow this to happen?
We've had a number of private investors to date, and we've been fortunate enough to have people and industry partners like Kiramar Racing and Trilogy Racing come on board because they see the power of what our technology can do. It's not just the racehorse ownership that we're looking at. We're looking at how blockchain can actually bring value across this industry. So we're seeing it from racing to breeding to some of the business transactions as well. So it's a broad spectrum of people that have become involved with BTX, but we're always looking for more partners as well.
Of course. So is the blockchain technology, can it actually shift beyond horse racing then, what you're talking about?
Absolutely. I think over the next couple of weeks, we've actually got a product that's coming out in breeding, which will be fractionalized breeding. So unlike your comment there around the racing and the prize money, there is an element of luck in racing, I must say. But on the breeding side, we've got a product over the next 2 weeks, which will be launching, which will give people the avenue to invest in broodmares, which will actually give you the ownership in their foals to take to the auctions, which is a real alternative investment, which should be of a lot of appeal to people as well, because the financial returns are actually quite predictable on the breeding side. It's there's a lot more analysis and a lot more information, and that'll be a product which will be really exciting.
Okay, so I've got to ask Steve, you're an accountant by trade. You spent almost a decade at EY.
Yep.
How did you get into this?
Yep, no, I am an accountant by trade, chartered accountant. So look, I really saw the application of the technology. I was fortunate enough to work in part of the digital team at EY, and look, part of my passion really stems from what are the innovative solutions we can bring to new markets. With a passion for horse racing and a passion for blockchain, look, it was really a no-brainer. Once you understand the industry problems that they're facing, whether it's expensive ownership or manual paper-based processes in this industry, blockchain's a perfect application. And I can't help but get excited that this is an industry that's ripe for disruption. And as a tech company, this is something that we're really passionate about.
It's kind of, you talk about Kiramar and others investing in what you're doing. You are a disruptor in the industry, but obviously people within the industry see that and want to be part of it.
That's right. We have an ethos that we would like to work with the industry. There's no point building products for people that don't want them. So working with trainers, breeders, regulators, we have an open mindset that we want to work with the industry to build products that work for the industry. That's what's going to create long-term value for the industry. And, as we can build products that hopefully bring in younger, the next generation, the Gen Z of the future of racing, that's a really exciting proposition for us to work with the industry to bring new audiences, bring new crowds, and ultimately increase value for the entire industry is our vision.
Steve, thank you for talking to Fear and Greed.
Thank you very much for having me.
That was Steve Peake, founder and CEO of BTX Racing. This is the Fear and Greed Daily Interview. Remember, you should get professional advice before making any investment decisions. Join us every morning for the full episode of Fear and Greed, Australia's most popular business podcast. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.